All right, boys, we are back here once again for episode 5 of our Winnipeg Jets franchise mode series. In the last episode, we had the playoffs, and unfortunately, we fell to the Chicago Blackhawks in 6 games in the first round as well. So it was a pretty unfortunate playoff run, but nothing that Jets fans aren't used to. I'm sorry, Jets fans, but we've had some bad luck in the playoffs, and that continued this season. So we do have some questions going into the offseason. We had really poor performances out of guys like Kyle Connor, and I would say even Cole Perfetti had a pretty weak performance, but we had some good performances in the playoffs as well. As you can see, Nikolai Ehlers is up there with 8 points in 6 games. Mark Scheifele had 6 and 6, and so the guys, there's a bit of a mixed bag here, but as I proposed to you guys last episode, we did have some questions for this team and what kind of changes that we need to make. So let's get right into the comments. So first off, RJ says a tough loss once again by the Jets, but we'll be back soon. Yes, we will. My notes I've done for the offseason, I'd say include that we need a coaching change of some sort. We're really having trouble with the player chemistry, so maybe a more offensive coach could help. Also for the draft, I'd say pick up Pittis and Yakhmichuk as they're still gems. Not really sure what the gem mechanic means. I don't think anybody does, but nonetheless, it's a good indicator. And then maybe a potential blockbuster offseason trade of some sort, Kyle Connor or Nikolai Ehlers, most likely since Scheifele's locked up for 8 years. That's all I have to say for now. Good luck and go Jets, go. Yeah, so we were somewhat entertaining the Kyle Connor or Nikolai Ehlers trade like a massive blockbuster in the playoffs. As we can see here, Kyle Connor only had 3 points in 6 games. He was also a -1, so really did not show up for a sniper with 5-star shooting. I honestly wouldn't be surprised if after the draft or like at the start of next season, he drops to an 89 overall. So maybe something to look at, but I also think that he's still young. He still has 3 years left on his deal. So maybe after next season, if he doesn't perform again, that's the time to trade him, where he only has 1 year left on his deal. So I think we're going to hold off for right now. Nikolai Ehlers performed very well in the playoffs, so I don't want to get rid of him. But Kyle Connor's definitely a guy on the block for some good offers. Next comment is from Fresh, who says, great episode despite the outcome. Thank you very much, Fresh. Can't blame Hellbuck fully. I know he gets paid a lot of money, but there was no help defensively. Plus, it's EA goalie voodoo. That's true, right? In the real world, of course, Hellbuck is a much better goalie than he is in the EA land, but EA goalies don't really get any help in the simulation. He said the D-core is giving up 40 plus shots a game, which is a huge problem. That's very true. Big problem is the first line never showed up -1 game. He feels Velarde should be a third liner, and we need a better power forward for the top 6. Something that we definitely do need. We don't have like a really studly power forward, or we do have a good sniper, but we do not have that studly power forward for sure. I think a forward coach may help as well, but also finding an offensive defenseman for the top 4 may help out the offense. Contract demands I found to go down after the draft. Perfetti definitely bring back and maybe able to get him on an 8-year deal cheaper. I would take Pittis with a first-round pick. He looks like a sniper and maybe a power forward. If you do trade up, get Henry Muse. So appreciate the thoughts there, Fresh. Looking at Cole Perfetti's contract, I'm thinking of sending him an extension for 3 years. I know he said 8 years, but 3 years keeps him as an RFA, and also it's only $5.125 million, and we have 13 mil of cap to spend. So I think it's a really good deal for a guy like Cole Perfetti. We can probably get him a little bit cheaper, maybe 4.5 mil for 4 years for a second line center is a massive steal. So I'm thinking about doing that in the offseason maybe. Third and final comment here is from Alexander, who says, tough loss, but great episode. Thank you, Alex. I appreciate it. The focus should still be defense on the offseason. Brodin, who we acquired in the trade deadline at last season, is a great second line staple. He's great defensively, but won't drive the offense that much on the first pair. The team is still missing a good right-handed defenseman to play alongside of Morrissey. So he gives some defensive line combinations here. Morrissey, and then maybe somebody in free agency. Brodin and Pionk, Hinola, and DeMello, which I think are some great lines. He also goes on down below. I kind of give a little bit of a reply there saying we don't have a lot of cap space. We don't have too much trade value, but he says that he has 3 suggestions for the off season. If the top line struggles again, maybe switch it up. I didn't really do that too much. So maybe switch it up. Good Ehlers and Perfetti on the second line. Connor and Scheifele, try to get those guys going as like pairings, and then kind of pair them up with whoever else we can fit. He says for the defense, we should look towards free agency for an undervalued top 4 guy or somebody on the trading block. It doesn't have to be a 25-year-old long-term piece. The core is set, so we just need, it could be a 35-year-old old vet looking to play alongside of Morrissey or Brodeen. So I appreciate the thoughts there, Alexander, as always, and everybody else who commented. We had a lot of comments in that one, so good to go through them all. Looking towards the draft now, something that I did not show you guys is that I did pin some elite players. Like I pinned this low elite guy here at 122 who I'll definitely pick up, Maxim Chistov. He's a two-way forward, and then a two-way defenseman possibly who's low top 4 potential. So these guys, just some decent potential players that I'm going to pick up in the like mid 100s. But with all that being out of the way, my friends, it is now time to start the NHL entry draft. We get to see where everybody gets taken. Also, I might try to trade away some guys on 1-year deals, but at the same time, it doesn't really seem that realistic because, you know, guys like Nino Niederreiter have next to no value. He was pretty good for us in the playoffs, but in the regular season only had 6 goals as a sniper, so guy that we're looking to trade away. So I don't think we're going to be making many trades here. I do just want to make sure that I get who was it that we had suggestions for? Yeah, I do want to get that guy Pittis in the 2nd round, so I'm just going to make sure that I can get him, so I'll trade up for that pick. But other than that, we're not going to trade into the 1st round. If you guys do remember, we traded our 1st round selection to the Minnesota Wild for Jonas Brodin, so I believe that is the 26th overall selection. So I will take a look at who that is, and we'll see if our trade was worth it. Maybe if they get like a medium elite guy, that would not be ideal. But other than that, I'm going to just trade up for Pittis. Okay, so to trade up for Cedric Pittis here, I'm going to trade our 47th overall pick to the Ottawa Senators for the 35th overall selection, just so that we can guarantee him. I'll trade a 6th and a 7th. I think this should go through. Actually, maybe I'll just trade. No, I'll trade a 6th and a 7th, whatever. It's okay. Let's see. Does this go through? Accepted. Seems like a sweet proposal on our end. There you go, Ottawa. Have fun with your 6th and 7th round selections. And now let's simulate through these first like 10 picks or so. So the first overall selection is Francisco Gordon, a left wing, medium elite, two-way forward. Okay, looks like kind of base all around, so pretty good pickup there for Arizona. Chicago, who beat us out in the 1st round, get their hands on Berkeley Catton, a playmaker, 76 overall medium elite. He will be a menace for us to have to deal with. Sam Dickinson goes 3rd, a left-handed medium elite player, plays for the London Knights currently. I think he turns out to be a pretty decent player as well. Ottawa get their hands on Tanner Howe, a medium elite sniper. It's got 3-star shooting there. Okay, not horrible. San Jose, again, so San Jose has picks 3 and 5, so they get Sam Dickinson and Aaron Kiviharju. They're really focusing on that defensive core out there in San Jose, San Jose, excuse me. 6th overall selection is Tarek Parasek. So as you guys know, the first year is always very, very deep because we do have real life players like Clark Caswell, Aaron Kiviharju, Tanner Howe, Sam Dickinson, and then we have some generated players. I think Parasek is a generated player, but Clark Caswell is going to go 7th overall to Nashville. Just give you guys a quick look. Then 8th we get Kaden Lindstrom here at number 8, so that's good for Columbus. Not an elite player though. Adam Juracek, I think, goes next. Then, okay, it looks like we're getting into the medium top 6 players, medium top 4 players, guys like that. So I'll just sim through this. Oh, wow. Tijiginla goes at 11. So he drops to number 11 and he goes, that's a big pickup for New Jersey. So their center core gets even better with Jack Hughes, Nico Hischier, and now Iginla. That's insane. So these 3 teams really do miss out. These 4 teams even really miss out on Iginla here, who's a medium elite player. All these other players, medium top 6 or medium top 4. We will sim the rest of the round and see if there's anybody late. We also need to see who our pick goes for, like who we traded for Jonas Brodin. So I'm just going to go through here, see if there's any elite names. This guy, Helenius, is a medium top 6, 72 overall. That's pretty good. This guy's a medium top. Henry Muse, yeah, guy we were thinking about trading up for. And, okay, so the Minnesota Wild, with our 1st round pick, they pick up Baudin, who's a medium top 6, 68 overall power forward. You know, he's a 1st round pick, but he's nothing that I'm too disappointed about. I honestly think that our pick right here might be better than him. So let's find out. Let's simulate 2-hour selection here at 35. We're going to reach a little bit, but that is okay. We are going to pick up Cedric Pittis here. I could also, in theory, pick up Carter Yakmachuk. But I think I want to go with Cedric Pittis. He's got A for shooting as well. He's a good goal scorer, pro release. Looks like he could be a sniper, which would be very, very nice. Also 3 years away, similar to Olin Nolan. I think this is a good selection for the franchise. He can play center or left wing. Although I guess Yakmachuk is a right-handed defenseman, something that I was not considering. Has a heavy slap shot size, shot on ability. He's also only 2 years away, whereas our guy is 3. But I'm going to go with Cedric Pittis here. Could be a bit of a reach. Maybe it's not the correct decision, but I just want to get him into the system. Also the grinder, if he's a grinder, I feel like that's kind of fun as well. So let's go for it. Cedric Pittis from the USA East, welcome to the team, my friend. He's a 66 overall. Okay, not amazing. Definitely Yakmachuk is going to be a better overall, but we don't really need too much help on defense. I think our defense is pretty good, but we don't have many forward prospects, right? We have guys like Artem Kniazev in the system as well. Forward prospects, like if we do have Brad Lampert, but either way, Cedric Pittis is on the roster now. He is a medium top 6 power forward. There you go, fresh. He's a power forward with 3-star shooting, only 2-star physical, but again, he's only 66 overall, so he will grow with time. Our next selection is pick 90, so I just want to see if there's anything there, or if maybe I can trade up for Yakmachuk here. Let me just see. Okay, so to get Carter Yakmachuk here, I'd be willing to trade Dylan Sandberg, so kind of getting a defenseman for a defenseman here. The only thing is I really hope that Columbus does not pick up Yakmachuk, because that would be really bad. But I'm not sure. Would this go through, do you think? I don't know if this would go through, but I will offer it. Rejected, woefully insufficient. Yeah, so I'm not sure if we're going to get our hands on Yakmachuk. Because I don't really want to give away any more picks. We don't have many picks next year. We don't have many picks left this year either. And also, look at this. Looks like Chaz Lucius might be ready for the team next year. He's 78 overall sniper, center sniper, so he could be ready for maybe the third line next year, which would be very nice. Artem Kniazev also growing fairly decently, and then we have Pittis down here as well. So anybody else that I would be okay with trading? I'd like to keep Salmonson. Who do they go with? They go with Ackerland. Okay, so we can get this deal done for Yakmachuk here if I can make it happen. Hang on. Okay, I've put Bauer in the equation now. It's still not where it needs to be at all. So I don't think that we're going to be able to pick up Yakmachuk, but that is okay, boys. We will be all right with the 90th overall selection. I might move up just a few picks, actually. All right, we're going to try to trade up for the 78th overall selection here. So I'm going to give my 90th, and this guy is Jacob Julian. He's a playmaker. He was drafted in the 5th round in 2023, so last year. He's a medium bottom 6 player. He's not going to be anything for us, so just going to send him away, and they will accept that trade. So thank you very much, Florida. So now with that pick, also Carter Yakmachuk just went here. So unfortunate. If he was going to drop to Buffalo, I was going to try to make that selection again because they want to trade the pick, so it'd be a lot easier to trade for, but he did not. So that is how that went. So here at pick number, 78, I'm going to go ahead and select from the Russia League, Billy Gabo. He's 3 years away, a low top 6 player. He's a playmaker. I know that he's only 5'9", but size is not the only thing that matters in EA land. You know, smaller players can play a little bit better than maybe in the real world. There's also some guys, a defenseman here at 6 feet and a playmaker here at 6 feet as well. This guy is 4 years away though, and this defenseman, he's also 3 years away. Shoot pinch though, I don't know if that fits with the team. So I'm going to go ahead and go with Billy Gabo here. He's from Poland, I believe that flag is. He's in the Russian league. Let's go. Billy Gabo, welcome to the team, my friend. 64 overall, low top 6 forward. Obviously, his stats will not be great as he's only a 64, but he's got 2-star skating, which is his best category. So we like to see that for sure. Okay, now with Toronto, we're going to make a move here. We're going to trade our 4th round selection and Eric Stahl, who is just a depth piece for us, for their 4th round pick. They're going to accept that trade just to be able to select the player that I want to at pick 113. As you can see here, we're just going to go through our picks, not look at the rest of the draft. There's really nothing else too interesting. A lot of AHL top 6 players, a medium top starter here, but our eyes are on Maxim Chistov, a right winger, two-way forward at 6'3". He's going to take 5 years to get better, but he's a low elite player, so we can throw him into a deal to add some value, or we can wait for him to develop. He's a 49 overall. Welcome to the team, Maxime. Our next selection here is at pick 154, and I'm going to be selecting from La Liga Kai Kapanen, a left-handed defenseman, possibly a two-way defenseman. He's going to take 5 years to get better. He's low top 4, might not turn into anything, but he will have some trade value. So get in there, 50 overall, low top 4 defenseman. And that's going to do it for this draft. I think our next pick is at 186, but I don't think there's really anybody else I'm too interested in here. All right, guys, I actually lied. We're going to trade Brendan Dillon to Philadelphia. We were not going to re-sign him, so we're not losing out on a piece on the team or anything for a 6th round selection. Don't worry. We aren't going to re-sign him. He's got good physical, good defense, but other than that, he's pretty weak everywhere. 67 discipline. I mean, no puck skills, slow skater, so and not a very good, not an accurate shooter at least either. So we're going to trade Brendan Dillon to Philadelphia. We're trading him out to the East as well, so if they decide to re-sign him, he won't come back to bite us too much. And I'm going to pick up some value in this trade, and Brendan Dillon has none right now, so I like that selection or that trade right there. We're going to get at 165. Hang on, we have a trade incoming. Never mind, they decided to change their mind. All right. At pick number 165, we are going to take, oh, we could take actually Weimer, but I wanted to take, there was an offensive defenseman. Here he is. What flag is that? Oh my goodness, I'm showing my ignorance here. But either way, we're going to take Kirill Kravchenko, an offensive defenseman, left-handed. I know there are a few low top 4 guys here, but two-way defensemen are in abundance in this game. Offensive defensemen are harder to come by, so I'm going to pick up this offensive defenseman. He can play in Russia for a few more years and maybe make his way over to the AHL shortly. He's a 46 overall. Never mind, he might have to be a throw-in there in a trade, but that is going to do it for our draft. We're going to sim the rest of the draft. There won't be any massive players, anything like that. Maybe some low top 4, low top 6 guys, but these are the people who we drafted on the team. Cedric Pittis, Bill Gabo, Maxim Chistov, Kai Koppinen, and Kirill Kravchenko. Did I get all those right? I don't know. Let me know down in the comments if you want to. But either way, a pretty good draft from us. We have a low elite player in the team now, as well as Cedric Pittis, who's like 66 overall or something like that. And now we are going to the re-sign phase where the entire AHL coaching staff needs to be replaced, and here we go with the contracts. Looking at our contracts, we do have Cole Perfetti, who we obviously want to re-sign, and he wants 6. Okay, that's much more reasonable, Cole. We can now sign him to like a 5.5 mil deal for 8 years. That would be wonderful, Cole. Oh my goodness. Okay, so you guys are right. At the end, fresh. Thank you, my brother. At the end of, once you finish the draft and you go to the re-sign phase, their demands do go down drastically, because I looked at it for 8 years. He was demanding like 10.7 mil. So an 8-year deal for like 5.675 for an 85 overall with a medium elite 22-year-old. I mean, it's likely that he's going to grow even more, maybe get some X factors, turn into an 88. So this is a wonderful deal here. Maybe something along these lines. I will find out what 85% is, but this looks like a great deal. So 85% is about 5.4825, so that'd be about 5.5 in this universe. So we're going to go 5.7 for Cole Perfetti for 8 years. See what he says to that. Everybody else here, Jason Zucker, I was not impressed by you whatsoever. You want 3 mil as well. You were playing 4th line minutes for us, and you did not do really anything. You had 6 points in 21 games, also a -6. So for 3 mil, I don't think that's very worth it, to be honest. I just want to take a look at what the roster would be like without him, though, right? Because guys like David Gustafson, I want to bring David Gustafson back. He wants 2 years, 1.3. That's pretty reasonable. Come down to 1.2 and we can make it work, David. But I like that contract. Logan Stanley wants a contract as well. I think this can work. It's kind of a little bit pricey, actually, for a guy like Logan Stanley. But we can always qualify some of these guys if we don't want to bring them back. Kyle, is it Kyle Capabianco? Yeah, see, like he wants 1.2. He wasn't even on the roster. Christian Vesalainen, what do you want? You also want a big deal, huh? And Artem Kniazev wants a one-way deal as well. So I'm going to qualify these guys because this is pretty nuts. Okay, so I was doing all that and I realized that everybody here wants a one-way deal, and that was pretty insane, except for these bottom 3 guys. So I just decided to qualify them all, and I'll come back to it in the offseason when they all want two-way deals, because a guy, a 76 overall guy is not worth a one-way deal at 1 mil, so we're going to give him a two-way deal in the offseason. Logan Stanley, I'm still not quite sure about. I don't think we need him on the team. We may be able to trade him for some picks and prospects. And other than that, Jason Zucker, I'm still not sure about, and Nino Niederreiter, I'm also not too sure about. So I wanted to bring you guys back here because we gave the offer out to Cole Perfetti. So if we look at the roster that we have right now, we're going to have, for next year, we're going to have Kyle Connor, Mark Scheifele, Nikolai Ehlers. Ehlers is getting a contract next year, so we'll see what his demands are at the end of this video probably. Then we're going to have Perfetti with Gabriel Velarde and Alex Iafallo. This is the same second line we had last year. They did not produce very well, so we might have to make a change in there. Maybe throw Velarde on the third line center position, but then Adam Lowry gets bumped to fourth line center, so I do like Adam Lowry as our third line center. Maybe Velarde as a right winger or something like that. Then I follow on the second line. Without Jason Zucker, the lines look a little bit rough, and without Nino Niederreiter as well, because then we have Morgan Barron on our third line with Mason Appleton and Johnson Fialbi here. So that's not a great third line. So I think I want to bring one of either Jason Zucker or Nino Niederreiter back. Jason Zucker wants 3 years at $3 million basically, and Niederreiter wants 1 year at 2.37. So I think I'd rather prefer Nino Niederreiter, even though he didn't really do great things for us. He's a sniper. He can play power play time. And he was good in the playoffs as well. He had a pretty good playoff run. I'll show you guys this. In the playoffs, he had for us, he had 7 points in 6 games in the playoffs. So I'm willing to bring him back for 1 year. I know there was a comment to send him away, but we're pretty low on depth. So I'll give him a $2.25 million deal. Jason Zucker, I just don't think he's worth $3 million. He only put up, he was a -6 with us. He only put up 6 points in 21 games. It's not ideal for a third liner. Maybe we could play him on the second line to switch up Cole Perfetti and things like that, but I just want to see how much money we have left after I do all of this other stuff. So that'll be for that. Now looking at defense for next year, we're going to go with Morrissey and somebody in free agency, I think, then Brodin with Pionk and Dylan DeMello with Ville Heinola. So it leaves Logan Stanley out, and Dylan Sandberg here is making $1.4 million. So I don't need another guy making a lot of money. Dylan Sandberg can be our depth piece. So I'm not going to offer Logan Stanley a contract. I'm going to qualify and trade him, I think, to somebody else. And everybody else is signed on. Looking at goalies, Laurent Brossois got a .929 save percentage. I think that warrants a 1-year deal. So 1 year at 1.55 mil. Let's see what he says to that. And we will advance 1 day. Okay, Nino Niederreiter wants some more money, so that's a bit worrisome. Laurent Brossois on. David Gustafson's on. Wow, Cole Perfetti. Going to reject this dollar value. Okay, so he wants, because the years changed. Okay, so we're going to have to give him a bit more money. Reichel's on, Salmonin, all these guys here are on for the AHL team. So the guys left, Dylan DeMello did not like the contract offer we gave him. So, or did I not give him an offer? Maybe I didn't. So we're going to go 2 years, 3.75 for Dylan DeMello. And then Nino Niederreiter did not like the years that we gave him. So let's just give him 2.3 mil. And then for Cole Perfetti, we're going to try for 8 years. 6.45 he wants. So 8 years at, what did I give him? 5.75, something like that. So let's go 5.95 for Cole Perfetti. A second line center making about 6 million. Yeah, that seems okay for the next 8 years. Yeah, that seems pretty good. So let's do it. 5.950 for the next 8 years for Cole Perfetti. What do you say to that, big boy? Easy decision for Niederreiter, he's back. Easy decision for DeMello, he's back. And easy decision for Cole Perfetti. So we locked up Cole Perfetti for the next 8 years. The rest of these guys, I'll sign them on in free agency, but that's a massive extension that we got for Cole Perfetti here. He's going to be on for 5.95 for the next 8 years. I really like that contract. Brings him to, he's the only one on board for that long, obviously. So that's a huge deal, and it's a good deal as well. 85 overall, making 6 mil. I'm kind of banking on him to grow a little bit more. We're going to give him power play time. We're going to give him maybe not penalty kill time. Actually, he's a decent penalty killer with 87 defensive awareness, but we're going to give him power play time for sure. He's got a decent shot, so we're going to hope that he can have maybe a 25-30 goal season next year. I just need to find a playmaker to play alongside him. I think that would be better than having those two-way forwards along with him. I think that's going to be the team going into next season. Jason Zucker, I'm not sure about an extension for him. We only have 4 mil, yeah, so we need to save some money anyways, and I need to get a defenseman in free agency, but only with 4 mil. I did not realize that's not that much money to get a defenseman with. I should have been more careful with my money. That's unfortunate. Josh Morrissey, okay, so who can I trade here? Maybe I can trade somebody who's making quite a bit. Neil Pionk making 5.875 is quite unfortunate. Billy Hinola making 2 mil. Maybe I can trade Dylan Sandberg, free up 1.4 mil. That could be nice. And then get like a depth guy for like Dylan Sandberg's not going to grow that much in this universe. I know in the real world I got some comments saying he should be a higher overall, but again, it's not really up to me with that stuff. So I'm thinking maybe Morgan Barron, maybe I don't know, maybe Mason Appleton might be the guy to have to go. He's a -1. He only had 14 points. Yeah, Mason Appleton out with 2.16. That's a lot of money for Mason Appleton. So I'll see if anybody wants him. David Gustafson is okay. He was good for us in the playoffs. And then Chaz Lucia is also probably going to be on the team as well next year. So we have some guys who are going to be coming up. The team's going to look a little bit different, but I'm going to sim to free agency now. I just want to make sure that the scouts are all on. Okay, I've offered contracts to the AHL's head coaches and things like that. So we are going to see if they sign on. And the goalie coach is on. And then... Okay, the assistant coach decided not to sign on, but that's okay. And there we go. Now we're going to get some people. Yep, exactly. Everybody's going to sign their qualifying offers. So thank you very much, boys. I do appreciate it. But now is a big time because we have to check free agency. We also have to check the coaching staff because everybody was saying we need an offensive coach. We need a more forward-heavy coach. And there is an A forward coach. He's got A+ for offense. A+ for power play, A for penalty kill, B in teaching and coach influence, though, so not a great teacher, which might hurt Cole Perfetti, but he's got A+ offense, A+ power play, things like that. So I think he's probably the best person to go for, or we could go for this generalist here. We can see what type of fit they have on the team as well. Does anybody like, I just want to make sure that they like, the big guys. Yeah, see, these guys don't really like guys like, where's Cole Perfetti on here? I don't even see him. Is it because I just had to sign him to a contract, so it's not going to show me? That's pretty wild. But he doesn't have a great fit for Josh Morrissey. This guy, Kyle Connor loves him. Josh Morrissey likes him a decent amount. Scheifele, Ehlers, so they're probably going to get a +5. Neil Pionk loves him on the second line. I think Pionk's on the second. Gabriel Velarde, I think this is the guy to go with. Adam Lowry also likes him. Billy Hinola kind of does. So I think this is the guy to go for here. An an A coach. What's his name? Rob Crooks. What are his lines like? He's got pinch shoot, pinch shoot. Interesting. Okay, so we're going to be a pinch shoot team, huh? Okay. Kind of interesting there. And I am down for it. So let's sign him to a deal. Again, guys, because owner mode's off, I can give him whatever deal I want. So I'm just going to jack this up to like 6 mil and then sign him to a deal. And I will demote that other guy who's our current head coach to like associate coach or something like that. So we have a better coaching staff. But there we go. We're going to go 6 mil for 5 years for Rob Crooks. He was the Carolina coach before this. So let's just now... We're going to have to demote these guys, so you will go and become my NHL interim head coach, and then you will drop to... Oh, goodness, I'm going to have to drop all these guys, huh? The goalie coach can probably get fired, NHL goalie coach. I'll find a better goalie coach. So you can become the goalie coach, you can become the assistant coach, and that means you will drop to the associate coach when the new guy signs on. Looking at scouts, I'll do all this stuff on my own. All right, there's no scouts that I have to sign, so we can just jump right into free agency here. Let's see who's available in free agency. A big-time defenseman of sorts would be nice. Okay, so we have Patrick Kane is out here. Do we go for Patrick Kane again? I don't think so. William Neal, we also don't have money, right? We only have $4 million. I can get up to like about 6 mil. So if there's a real good defenseman that we want, let's look at right-handed defenseman. Yeah, there's nothing insane here. Chris Tanev could be nice to play alongside of Josh Morrissey, but 4.5 mil. I could go up to like 4.75, something like that, maybe. Timothy Liljegren is an RFA, so we don't need to worry about him. Matthew Dumba. Okay, Matthew Dumba could be very interesting here. Bring back the Minnesota Wild blue line. The only thing is we were looking for more offensive two-way forward. Matthew Dumba, he only gets like 16 points. He was on a bad team last year. Fits all defensive pairings, but again, we're going to have a new coach. So Matthew Dumba maybe. Eric Johnson, again, now we're getting into guys who are a little bit too low. I'd like to get a top 4 guy, and it looks like it's about $6 million to get a top 4 guy, unless we go for one of these bottom 2, but I don't really love them. I'm really thinking about Chris Tanev here. I know that we wanted an offensive guy, but pairing him alongside of Josh Morrissey, right? So I don't need another offensive defenseman alongside Josh Morrissey. I could do a two-way defenseman or a defensive defenseman, but I don't need another offensive defenseman alongside Josh Morrissey. We had that with Neil Pionk, and it didn't really help the team out much. And Pionk's going to be alongside of Jonas Brodin for this season. So Tanev could be nice there. But let's look at all defensemen and see if there's anybody more interesting, like maybe a left-handed guy we can play alongside of Josh Morrissey, just to see if that's more enticing. But again, I still like Tanev the most here. I still like Tanev the most. Actually, Alec Martinez is not a horrible decision, but again, he doesn't have very good offensive stats. It could be Mark Giordano, actually. Get some poise in here, but I don't think so. And then all these other guys are like top 6 players. So I think the best bet for us is Chris Tanev, at least in free agency. Should I leave the video here so that you guys can chime in? I think I should, because this is a pretty big decision. This is going to be our top pairing defenseman to play alongside of Josh Morrissey. So I'll take a look through the trade blocks, and I will see who else is available. And also remember, we're going to have to free up some money. So question number 1, who do you think we should go after? Also, I can look at Nikolai Ehlers. He dropped to an 87 overall. Was he 87 before? I think he was lower than that. So let's see what Nikolai Ehlers wants for an extension. Yikes, he wants 8 years at $8 million. It's not horrible. Maybe I could drop to like 7.5 mil. Okay, it's all right. It's not the worst thing in the world. Pionk does not want an extension. He wants 6 mil about for 4 years. Okay, so keep that in mind. Gabriel Velarde wants 4 or 5 mil for the next 4. Yikes. And then Follow, at least, hopefully, yeah, he does not want too much, so that's okay. And everybody else, so I'm not really too worried about. But look at this, guys. So I think Mason Appleton we will have to trade to free up some money. Gustafsson can stay on the team. Heinola can stay on the team. Morgan Barron can stay. Nina Niederreiter can stay for a little bit. But that's going to be who we trade, probably Mason Appleton, to free up some money. Or is there somebody on somebody's trade block that we want to go after? So let me show you the trade blocks here. Nobody in Anaheim, nobody in Arizona. Again, there might not be a lot of guys because we are in free agency. Alex Tuch is out here in Buffalo. This could be the perfect power forward we're looking for the top line. But the only thing is he has so much value. We would have to trade Kyle Connor, Nikolai Ehlers maybe, who's on an expiring deal and wants 8 mil. This Alex Tuch only wants 4.75 mil. So maybe that's something that we can look at. Okay, kind of interesting. Calgary doesn't have anybody. Okay, maybe Dmitry Orlov is the guy. He can play the right side. He has 88 offensive awareness and 88 defensive awareness. He also has good shot blocking, things like that. He's a decent skater as well. Dmitry Orlov is looking pretty tempting. He's only 32 as well. So that could be a very, very good pickup. He has 1 year at 7 mil, though. 7 mil is a lot. We'd have to give up a lot of cap space. Who could we give up? Hang on. Okay, so we're going to have to give them like a defense. No, we don't have to give them a defense. We need to bring back a defenseman. So we have to give them a forward probably, because he's got some decent trade value, right? And we need to give up a couple mil. So let's see, salary-wise, maybe Gabriel Velarde goes, and but again, who do we bring back, right? That's the big problem. How do we get this value to work? Okay, let's say Follow goes in the deal. We can now accept it league-wise, but he has so much more value still. So we'd have to give up somebody with a lot of value here, like somebody like Brad Lambert. Maybe, I don't know, Chistov, who we just drafted. Somebody like this. Again, guys, I'm not going to make this deal right now. Cedric Pittis might have to go. Dylan DeMello, again, like these type of guys here. Gabo, but we just drafted him. Christian Vesalainen. Okay, we threw Christian Vesalainen in the deal. Looks a little bit more even, and then a draft pick maybe. Like this is the deal we would kind of have to make here. Like a 5th. Would that go through? Maybe, maybe not. But again, just showing you guys the trade blocks right now because I'm going to end this video a little bit before I usually do, just because I want to get your guys' opinion. This is a big franchise-altering decision here. So, Chicago, nobody. Colorado, nobody. Columbus, they have Boone Jenner on the block, but no, we don't really need a second-line center. We have Cole Perfetti. Jamie Benn's out here. Tyler Seguin, again, don't need a center. Detroit some prospects, Edmonton some prospects. Florida has Sam Bennett. Could be a third-line left winger for us. Okay, he's a two-way forward. He scores about 50 points or so. Not a horrible option. Physical guy. Okay, but again, do we really need that? And think about the trade value that we have. I'm looking mostly for defense right now as well. So Montreal with some forwards, Nashville with nobody, New Jersey nobody, the Islanders prospects. Okay, Ryan Lindgren's out here in the New York Rangers organization. Defensive defenseman to play alongside Josh Morrissey. Is it worth it though? Not sure about that. The Sens have Claude Giroux on the block and then a bunch of prospects. Philadelphia has Sean Couturier. They also have Scott Lawton, but that trade value is so high. Kim Atkinson as well. Pittsburgh with some prospects. Jan Ruda out here in San Jose. Do we want to pick up Jan Ruda, defensive defenseman? He's got not a lot of offense, 82 offensive awareness. I don't think Jan Ruda is a top pairing defenseman for sure. Connor Clifton, on the other hand, 83 defensive awareness is not fantastic. So we move on to Seattle with nobody, St. Louis with nobody, Tampa with some prospects, Toronto. Oh my goodness. Morgan Riley's on the block in Toronto. John Tavares is on the block as well. So Morgan Riley could be the perfect first line defenseman to play alongside Josh Morrissey. He's a two-way defender as well with X factors. 6 years left at a reasonable cap hit. Oh my goodness, Morgan Riley could be the guy. But the only problem is, okay, so we're definitely trading. If we get Morgan Riley on this, we are 100% trading away. Forwards, we're trading Ehlers for sure. What if we keep Ehlers and we decide to trade Kyle Connor? Okay, this is a massive deal in the making here. Oh my goodness. So that means our first line, it looks pretty weak, right? We're going to have Scheifele, Ehlers, Perfetti, like as our first line, maybe something like that. Maybe Scheifele, Ehlers, Velarde, then Perfetti, Iafallo, Niederreiter, Lowry, Barron, Chaz Lucius, Kupari, Gustafsson, and Fialbi or something like that. That could be our that could be like our forward core. Maybe Christian Vesalainen, again, right, guys? Chaz Lucius is there, the guys like that. So that could be our forward core. Defensively, then we would look like Morrissey with Riley, which would be nuts. Brodin with Pionk, which would be great. And then DeMello and Hienola. Our defensive core would look stellar, but our offense would look kind of weak. But this is why I'm showing you guys the blocks, guys. There's a lot of people on the trade blocks here that could be interesting. So keep this trade in mind for sure. Morgan Riley for Kyle Connor, basically. That would be a blockbuster. Let's move on to Vancouver now. In Vancouver, they have JT Miller on the block, but that's a massive contract. Mikheyev, Connor Garland, okay. Vegas has nobody. Washington, Tom Wilson, but a massive deal. Nicholas Backstrom, again, huge money. We don't have a lot of money to spend, right, boys? So just keep these guys. Maybe TJ Oshie could be interesting for our second line. Two-way forward. He's got good offensive awareness. Like, he could be somebody maybe, but we don't need to trade for people. I need to know a defenseman that we need to either bring in free agency or pick up. So now my two top picks were Dmitry Orlov from Carolina or Morgan Riley from Toronto. So who do you guys like out of those two? Also, I will have to trade away Mason Appleton or somebody like that to make it work. But that's been the end of this video. I hope you guys enjoyed it. We're going to stop it here for agency so you guys can put your input in. I always love to get your guys' feedback and things like that. So if you liked it, make sure to give it a like, comment if you're new, and subscribe, things like that. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a great rest of your day, everybody. Peace out.